Hey folks, Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist, and in this case I'd like to talk about why politics is so important for survival and preparedness. Now, politics and religion would be the classic things you try to avoid in your YouTube channel because it's controversial, it's usually not politically correct, and you end up losing subscribers. Someone gets pissed, someone leaves and unsubscribes to your channel because of it, and you get any kind of angry emails. I'm getting almost daily ones, to be honest, from people. I was always watching your channel, I've been watching your channel since day one. Man, if you've been watching my channel since day one, you know how I feel about these things. I try to be very conservative and moderate in my approach. I would consider myself mostly center, center, a little bit center right. These days, though, I'm considered a radical right-wing lunatic because I'm not a Marxist communist, and in today's environment, if you're not a radical left-wing nutcase, you are a radical right-wing white supremacist. You cannot be like moderate center-right person like I would describe myself. That's the way I like to think of myself, as someone that tries to be very reasonable and take each thing as it comes and considers what's the best outcome and what makes sense, what would work, what would be efficient when it comes to different political stance. How much does this benefit people as a society, as individuals? How much does it elevate and make life easier for you, or how much does it enrich and give more power to some creepy politician, which is not the kind of thing I would like to go for. So more freedom, more liberty, easier life in general, and having a government that's not intruding and getting into every little thing about my life. I don't want to have that. At the same time, I want something that actually works and gets shit done with a reasonable investment of your money. I think that most people would somewhere relate to that. But in the environment that we are today, it is so polarized. You're either on one side or the other. And if you're like my case, if you're kind of like me, that you're somewhat there in the center, you're forced to choose sides. And I'm definitely not going to be going with a communist nutwing, so I'm immediately thrown into the crowd of, yeah, you have to be a far right wing whatever. I know who I am, I know what I stand for, and this is maybe something I also learned. Life and such, you learn different things. When it gets to this point, even if you don't pick sides, the others will pick sides for you. And the way in which that happens is, if you're not with one of them, then you're immediately with the opposite band. That's simply a way it works in most cases. So yeah, now it's very interesting. We've been doing these live streams with Matt Bracking, as you probably know. Matt, great guy. We've been having some fantastic conversations with him. And 90% of the time we're talking about politics. Politics are so important. And I just don't see how it makes any sense to waste even a minute of my time with something that's not relevant, not important, not significant to what would directly affect your quality of life, even your security, the financial world in which you end up being in. What rights you have, what rights to own firearms you have left or not. All of this is directly linked to politics, and it's something you need to be aware of. If you're not, then you get blindsided by everything that's going on right now, which it has happened just that to a lot of people. A lot of people just didn't see this coming. If you've been in my channel for a while, you know I've been talking about this since last year and even before. Even after Trump's election, this is some of the things I've been talking about. And it is important because I've gone through this myself. I've gone through this in Argentina when everything went to hell in 2001, and we ended up with a left-wing crazy government, absolute corruption, and a lot of this populism fed through a nationalistic vibe, like the social nationalist party, very much of the Nazi party. Well, that kind of manual of politics being employed Same case in Argentina, with of course its different Latin twist. But in essence, it's the same thing. It's feeding on this very violent and bad nationalism, not like a positive patriotism, which would be something completely different, but hating everyone that is not on your side, basically, and you are the only true, real, patriot-loving version of your own delusion, if that makes any sense. And you try to appeal to as many people as possible, and anyone and this is very much the key of it, everyone that's not with you is simply your enemy. So you sell this story of compassion and tolerance and anti-racism, while at the same time, look at the language being used. Look at all the people using the N-word in such a violent and hateful manner. Where is that coming from? I was just watching a video right now from the guys, what is the conservative twins. Check my Facebook, I just reposted one of their videos. Fantastic guys, very funny. I love these because they just have a fantastic sense of humor. But the crazy Antifa lady, she's calling a house N-word to a black police officer. Now, how racist is that? That is the true essence of racism. The idea that because of your skin color, you cannot be anything else but what I assume you have to be. You don't get any more racist than that. So all of this has, even in your safety, how you're safe when out and about on the streets. There's another video of a dad with his little daughter. They're dressed they have like an American flag and whatnot, and they're being chased by these lunatics because they're considered right-wing, white nationalist extremists, and they're being chased just because they have an American flag in America. Guys, I don't know if you realize how crazy these times are for you. I don't know if you realize this, but I don't think of anywhere, other than some very basket case Middle Eastern American hating country, pretty much anywhere that I could think of, I see people wearing American flags around here in Europe all the time. No one bats an eye. That's, wear whatever you want. If you're American and you want to wear an American flag, by God, go and do that. If you're not even American and you want to have a t-shirt with a flag or whatever, it's just your right to wear whatever the hell you feel like wearing. No one has a right to attack you because you're wearing any country's flag, let alone your own country's flag in your own freaking country. That is absolutely madness and crazy, and just says a lot as of the times in which we're living in and what's happening in America right now. This is just, you're looking at borderline crazy mark. If these guys get into the government, that's why I love doing these podcasts with Matt, because we talk about so many of these things. That's why it's so important to make it very clear for everyone. These elections are crucial. These elections are maybe the most important ones of your lifetime, no matter how old you are. Because if these guys end up in power, you are gonna be losing a lot more than you could possibly imagine, even in your worst nightmare. If you are like the traditional Republican guy, you still don't know how bad this can be because you haven't gone through it. Ask anyone in Venezuela what this is. Ask anyone that fled Cuba floating in a freaking tire how bad that is. You just don't know it. And sure, this is something we were talking with Matt about, some of these bleeding heart liberals marching with Antifa. And we're peacefully protesting and completely blindsided by the fires around them. We're just peacefully protesting, and these evil pigs are attacking us. Yeah, those evil pigs are actually trying to stop you from burning down your own community. That N-word, that house N-word guy, which is a police officer making a very hard job, he's trying to stop you from destroying your own community. In some cases, it's not even their own community, because let's be honest, these homegrown terrorists move from one place to another, starting problems. It is starting trouble, attacking, murdering people, like we saw when we did the live stream during this weekend. So it's a lot more organized. Guys, it's such a complex topic. There's so many different levels. On one hand, you have a very hardcore element at work. These would be downright pure terrorists that they cannot be labeled like as anything else. These are people using terror, fear, and murder, actual assassinations, as we've seen, so as to achieve a political agenda. That is the classic definition of a terrorist. You don't get more terrorists than murdering people for a political objective. You have that, then you have people that are confused, then you have people that have been brainwashed by a Marxist education system, then you have people that are so freaking soft, like a wet noodle. They have no idea what hard times are. They don't have no idea what coping with tough times is, and they think that because they saw on YouTube that some guy, a black guy, got shot. They don't care if he has a criminal record this big. They don't care if he was actually attacking a police officer. They swallow it, hook and bait, and all of it together. This narrative of oppressed minorities in America, and they think that the right thing for them to do is go and peacefully protest. And there are these famous useful idiots that are being human shields used by the guys throwing Molotov bombs at police officers. And as they see those Molotov bombs fly over their heads, they just convince themselves that no, this is just one crazy person in my mostly peaceful protest. They just lie to themselves, and they're still part of a problem. So guys, all of this is very complex, it's very serious, and it's so very important for you to spread the message in your community. Make sure people go out and vote. And you don't have to like Trump. You don't have to like the guy. I personally don't like Trump all that much, but if you think that you have any other choice but voting for Trump, you are completely crazy, because what's in front of Trump is Maduro, is Chavez. What you have in front is Fidel Castro type of crazy, and you simply cannot allow that, right? So do something for your country. Make sure as much people as possible understand this, and especially don't even, if in your group of friends, don't even bother with the guys that already get it, right? Those guys already get it, that's fine. Talk with a guy that is still there. Oh man, but Trump said this and Trump said that, and I don't like him that much, and he said this, and his history about this and that. They still need to understand that even if you don't like the guy, your choices are either complete Bolshevik, Marxist lunatics, or having a country that still survives and goes on, and then you have the chance of in the next election voting for someone that you may like a little bit more or whatever. But these elections, you have no choice, and those guys need to understand that. Those guys need to understand, because this is just very thin ice that you're on. It could very well be that Biden ends up winning, and if Biden wins, he's not the one that's going to be in charge. It's going to be the Kamala Harrises, it's going to be the AOCs, and I'm talking in plural here because these are like legion in biblical sense. You don't know, well, you probably have seen already how much crazy there's out there, and you just cannot allow that to get into your government, because it never goes away. Hope you understood what I'm talking about here, folks. Remember that if you want to learn a lot more about, guys, and about my book, this is the Spanish version, my English version is Street Survival Skills. You'll have the link there below. But this, I'm getting lots of great reviews. If you like Street Survival Skills and you haven't left the review yet, I hugely appreciate it if you just take a minute and leave a review so as to reach 100 reviews on Amazon. That would be awesome. I really appreciate that. And you want to learn what I share with you folks in that book, because it's going to be essential for you in the coming years. Because even if Trump wins, as we all hope he does, it's not going to be an easy ride. Guys, take care. See you on our next video.